Registered Phenomena Code, 019. Object
4.
Class, Alpha White. Hazard Types, Mechanical Hazard. Containment Protocols, RPC-019 is to be stored in a standard holding locker at Site 024 which may be accessed with at least Level 2 clearance. Due to the non-threatening nature of the anomaly, no extra security measures are needed. Any differentiation in conversation topics recorded from an individual on the receiving end of a call of RPC-019 during testing is to be notified and reported to the site director immediately. Description: RPC-019 is an antique rotary phone of American make, approximately of design from the 1940s. The item consists of a rotary dial as well as a microphone, transmitter and base. To date, no anomalous behavior has been noted in most parts of RPC-019. The anomalous properties of RPC-019 manifest when the rotary dial is spun in a manner as if one was to make a phone call using RPC-019 without picking up the receiver. Standard phone calls made by using RPC-019 will never connect. After stopping on a number 10 times, RPC-019 will begin to ring. If the receiver of RPC-019 is picked up, a voice will be heard on the opposite end, designated RPC-0191. This voice will often identify itself as a deceased individual of historic importance, and upon cross-referencing any archived writings, the speech pattern of the individual will match that of the voice. Previous identities of the voice include former American President Abraham Lincoln, French monarch Louis XIV, and African warlord Shaka Zulu. Regardless of the identity of the voice, the individual communicating through RPC-019 will attempt to begin conversation with the subject picking up the receiver. Although subjects using RPC-019 may attempt to converse with the voice about any topic, RPC-019 instances will often attempt to sway the conversation towards its primary topic of discussion. Authority testing has shown no abnormal effects from listening to speech emanating from RPC-019. The primary topic that RPC-019 voices attempt to discuss has been constantly shown to be American professional football, particularly football teams involved with the National Football League. When questioned about any other topics, these voices will often tend to ignore the question or quickly attempt to revert the conversation's subject to their preferred topic. RPC-019 voices will display accurate knowledge of the current state of various football teams, including the names and positions of players and win/loss records, regardless of their country and language of origin. RPC-019 instances are not able to predict the winners of football games, but may make assumptions based on past statistics. If attempting to access an instance of RPC-019 during a scheduled professional football game, RPC-019 will not ring. RPC-019 was first discovered in an antique shop in Daytona Beach, Florida, after the object's owner reported hearing the voices of deceased individuals from RPC-019, which spoke to him whenever RPC-019 would ring. After other individuals using the object reported similar experiences, local news coverage of a ghost phone reached nearby authority inserts. The citizens who had experiences with RPC-019 were given Class B amnestics and RPC-019 was safely recovered. Access granted. Interview log 019A. In order to analyze the anomalous qualities of RPC-019, a series of calls was made using the object. CSD-1927 was instructed to answer RPC-019 when it began to ring. Test 1. CSD-1927 picks up the receiver of RPC-019. Hello? RPC-019-1, good evening. This is Winston Churchill. I believe you called? CSD-1927, wait, the Winston Churchill? RPC-019-1, former Prime Minister of Britain, yes. CSD-1927, wow. This is odd. I've got a question. If you can speak of it, what do you think of modern Britain? RPC-019-1, let me tell you what I think. I think that the Denver Broncos need a new quarterback. CSD 1927, excuse me? Like, the football team? RPC-0191, indeed I firmly believe that a new quarterback would help the Denver Broncos after Peyton Manning. The quarterback is the star of the team after all, and although Manning left some big shoes to fill, it's important that Denver continues searching for a replacement. I'd say that if they manage to improve their defense and find a new QB, the Broncos would be a solid pick for this year's top 5. CSD 1927, what? What's this have to do with my question? RPC-0191, of course, you could argue that they may make up for this with a strong offensive push, but then you need to weigh that against the opposing team's defense. RPC-0191 instance continues to speak at length about the Denver Broncos. After approximately 20 minutes, CSD 1927 is given permission to hang up. Test 2. CSD 1927, CSD 1927 picks up the receiver of RPC-019. Hello? RPC-0191, ahoy. Who be you to disturb my rest? CSD 1927, I'm sorry, who is this? RPC-0191, you should know my name. Edward teaches the real thing, but most of your books call me Blackbeard. CSD 1927, Blackbeard. Well, this hardly seems like it'll be as bad as last time. I tried to get some wise words from Churchill, but all he wanted to talk about was football. RPC-0191, did you say football? I have some opinions about it myself. You'd think the Buccaneers would do the pirate name honor, but no. That's what you get when you don't have a proper kicker. CSD 1927, didn't think pirates cared much for football. RPC-0191, not with this sort of play we don't. 5 to 11? Come on, lads, put your backs into it. Why, if you were in my crew I'd have sent each and every one of them to Davy Jones's locker. And another thing. CSD 1927 is given permission to hang up. Test 3. CSD 1927, alright, let's get this over with. CSD 1927 picks up the receiver of RPC-019. Hello? RPC-0191, greetings. Do you require my wisdom? CSD 1927, who is it this time? RPC-0191, from your words, you seem to have used this curious device before. I am Socrates. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. CSD 1927, interesting. I guess I could use some advice from a philosopher right about now. Tell me, how do I avoid losing my cool during this testing session? RPC-0191, a wise man keeps his composure, and allows none to see his weakness. One must accept that some situations are inevitable, and face them with pride. CSD 1927, wow. That's actually helpful. I didn't think that I would get an actual conversation from anyone on this phone. RPC-0191, it is in a scholar's duty to aid those in need. Unfortunately, my words cannot fix all problems. For instance, I am disappointed in some things that I cannot change. CSD 1927, and what are those? Modern Greece? How society portrays you and scholars now. RPC-0191, alas, no. Rather, my concerns lie with the current state of the New York Giants. I am disappointed in their performance, and while there are changes I would make, I cannot but I will tell you how they could improve, as improvement is always an option. CSD 1927, alright, fuck it. I am done with this thing. CSD 1927 hangs up without permission. After CST 1927 was terminated as a result of testing refusal, junior researcher Jameson was assigned to answer calls emanating from RPC-019 for the rest of the testing session. Junior researcher Jameson picks up the receiver of RPC-019. You've reached the authority. Who am I speaking to, please? RPC-019. My child. Thank you for wanting to speak with me. It has been some time since I last spoke to a living being. Junior researcher Jameson, I'm sorry. Who is this? RPC-0191. Oh, my apologies. I go by many names, and I forgot to mention even one of them. I am Jesus of Nazareth. Junior researcher Jameson, interesting. Tell me, how can you prove that you are who you claim to be? RPC-0191, an understandable question. But I assure you, it is I, just as I know you are. Redacted Jameson. Junior researcher Jameson, how do you know this? RPC-0191, because, my child, I can see you calling me right now. Do you not think I would know every member of my flock? Junior researcher Jameson, I see. Is it possible for you to answer a few questions for us? RPC-0191, oh, I would love to. But sadly, I do not have the time. You see, my position comes with much responsibility, and so I cannot spend much time answering questions. Junior researcher Jameson, not even questions about football? Our research indicates that those we speak to using this would enjoy discussing that. RPC-0191, that would be enjoyable, but I must go. Peace be with you, my child. But before I leave, will you tell my flock one thing? Junior researcher Jameson, yes, sir. What? Incident 019B. Upon a standard review of authority security camera footage, former junior researcher Smith, a temporary aide on RPC-019 research, was caught using his clearance in order to access RPC-019's containment cell during non-testing hours. He was confronted by senior researchers and admitted to using the advice given to him by RPC-019 instances to attempt to rig the Site-024 office football pool. After junior researcher Smith was disciplined and removed from the site, further containment protocols have been set in place by request of head researcher Doggers. Memo to all Site-024 personnel. As of now, we're putting more protection on that stupid phone. It was funny for a while, sure, but we can't have a staff member cheating the rest of us out of our hard-earned wages. I swear, if I lose another $100 because someone says that Julius Caesar told him to put down a lucky bet on the Seahawks, I'm gonna neutralize the damn thing myself. Head researcher Doggers.